waves are on the horizon, but we need to knock out another full day of action before we get into those quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. There are 3 guys up for the world title contention, and you know what?
Away, Hub's up and riding.
We're going straight live. Talk to us.
Bang! Hub under the lip. Nice strong roll to open up his world title pursuit. And look, first 30 seconds, Manny. Let's see what the judges think, but Hub would be happy just to get one under his belt.
All right, you know what? Bring us up to speed right now. We are in main event, round number 1. Who do we got?
Main event, round 4, Manny. We're in round 4. We've gone man on man. And straight away, in the water now, we have Jeff Hubbard, the current tour leader, favourite for the world title. He's out there against the wild card, Jason Finlay, the boy from the south coast of New South Wales. He can fly with the best of them. So Hub's got a challenge, but this could decide the world title this heat. So let's see what can happen.
You know what? We got the top players in the game right here in round number 4. We got 8 heats. They're going head-to-head. Winner advances on to the quarterfinals, and there are some sub-stories going on as well. We do have the last seat for the Grand Slam Series and last seat in the seed next year. Also, a world title is up for grabs at this event.
Yeah, man, we all know about the world title race, and we'll talk a lot about that today. But before we do, Jace Finlay's looking at this one.
All right, Jason Finlay in the yellow jersey. The Australian is holding his own as a wild card, and here he is off the bottom, straight off the top. Nice, clean, cylindrical roll. This is it. Side shore is coming through from the right side of the wave, so it is going to be a little bumpy, a little choppy on some of the bottom turns, but as soon as the tide starts coming in, it'll help mellow that out.
Manny, first wave of Jeff Hubbard, 4.5 from the judges, but here we have the replay. He gets up under the lip, plenty of power, Manny. That's hard to do. He holds onto that strong roll and comes out. And 4.5. But here we have Jace Finlay. He backed it up a couple of minutes later. He got up. You can see he got up the lip a little bit cleaner, better projection, rides it out cleaner. The judges like that one too, Manny. It was a 5.5 for Jason Finlay. So we're back into it, but Jason Finlay is in first place after the first wave exchange.
Incredible. Okay, so he's holding his own most definitely. As a wild card, he's been impressing everybody on the beach as he was out here free surfing a few days ago. There was no contest. He was free to do whatever he'd like. A lot went into the interior to check his stuff out, but this guy went out here, did some free surfing, and he almost pulled off an incredible high-flying 720. Jason Finlay, he can definitely hold his own against some of the guys, including Jeff Hubbard.
Oh, for sure. Will he be the dream record? That's the question we're all asking. I know all of Australia is behind Jace Finlay, not only because he is an Australian and he's got a big following, but also because the Aussies, if they want their man, Ryan Hardy, to win this world title,
yes.
They want to see Jeff Hubbard out of the competition. So, so Jace Finlay's got the whole of Australia behind him. But look, I tell you what, Jeff Hubbard's got the whole of Hawaii, the US, and I tell you what, a lot of the world behind him as well, because he has been the front runner from day one. A lot of people say he's the deserving world champion. He's been the most consistent. He's been the front runner all the way from round 1, Manny, and he surfed amazing in the first 3 rounds of competition here at Fronton. And the world just waits to see what will unfold. But you have a look at that time there on the switch. That actually is not the correct time left in this heat. So you'll see there it may have said 9.5 minutes, but that is not correct. We've got 30-minute heats going in today, as we said, head to head, man on man, and we're approximately 5 minutes into this one. So there's still 20 plus minutes remaining. So
looks like we got a little paddle battle going out the back right there. Jeff Hubbard and Jason Finlay currently out in the water. Jeff Hubbard in the red jersey, Jason Finlay in the yellow jersey. And yes, we do have 30-minute heats. Top two waves will be scored. 1 rider will advance on. Again, there are 3 world title contenders in the hunt still involved, including this guy, Jeff Hubbard, up and riding.
He's got a little one that's running across the reef. He'll be wanting to get up and exactly bang.
Nice.
Big ARS. Just warming into this heat, and so we still have 25 minutes remaining. Jeff Hubbard, 5 minutes into the first round 4 heat, has got his second score. He only needs a 1.01 to jump back into first. There's no doubt it'll be higher than that. The question is, will it better his 4.5? Manny, talk me through the replay, please.
All right, this is Hubbard's second wave, and he's just adding on. He's afraid that the ocean may go slow. This is called an air roll spin, and ARS is what everybody calls it in the bodyboarding world, and this guy has those down. He can do those at a snap of a finger. Here he is heading back out. But Jeff Hubbard, one of those 3 world title contenders. He is in the hunt along with Ryan Hardy and PLC. These 3 guys, there's a little, situation that has to happen for either one of these guys to make it happen. Let's talk us through it.
Well, here's the man who holds all the cards, Jeff Hubbard. Quite simply, Jeff Hubbard can make it to the final. He has secured his third world title. The man hot on his heels, though, is Pierre-Louis Costes. He hopes that Jeff Hubbard does not make the final and he wins the final. He is through. Ryan Hardy, it's a little bit harder for Hardy. He needs Jeff Hubbard out in the quarters. Hardy would need to win the final. All those scenarios could play out. But Manny, the exciting thing, Hub could secure the world title today. If we see Pierre-Louis Costes get knocked out by the local man Elliot Morales, or if the superstar Mitch Rawlins can knock out Ryan Hardy and their man on man, both if Ryan Hardy and Pierre get knocked out today, Jeff Hubbard will be celebrating. He will be the world champion. So, and Manny, I don't think we've touched on it enough yet. The swell, it's building as we speak, but by the end of this 4-hour broadcast, we're expecting 8 to 10 feet waves. It is going to build. So there's some sets coming in now. It's been a little bit slower, but hold your hats, people, because as this tide fills in, then starts to rip back out, all the locals are telling us expect 8-foot drenching waves. So it's going to be something special, and that's when we're going to see guys like Hardy and PLC in the water fighting for that world title.
There's not many places in the world where you can actually watch Mother Nature come alive within a short, span of a half a day. And the intentions are, and the swell forecasts are pointing that it's going to happen here with the tidal push. We do have a full moon up in the sky. Well, actually almost a full moon now, but the high tide and big swell combination is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, for sure, Manny. As said, it's very reliant on the tides, the Fronton break, and it said when it comes, it'll be coming with the higher tide. So here's the forecast now. We're expecting 6 feet, but you see it climbs into the afternoon. So by the time the competition finishes, we will be in that 8 feet range in the next 4 hours. So it's going to happen. Tuesday, look at that, 10 feet waves, Manny. That side shore wind, don't be too put off by that because it's not going to be too strong. So I'd be booking in your day off work, your day off school, whatever you're doing, because Tuesday, in my mind, is a high probability of running. But let's focus on today. 6 feet to 8 feet. The wind looks good, going live. But just to bring the riders back, there you have Ben Play, who's in the next heat. But Jeff Hubbard's second score has dropped, so he is now back into first place with 2 scoring waves, 5.75 for that second ARS. The second wave where he pulled off the ARS, and a combined score of 10.25. Jace Finlay needs a 4.76 to jump back into the lead. Still close to 20 minutes remaining, Manny, so plenty of time. And we've been watching this swell over the last couple of hours. We haven't seen half hour go by without some bomb sets, so I think there's still a lot more to be written in this heat.
Yes, I think what's happening right now is the tidal change. We've seen it low tide throughout the morning, and while everybody was discussing, do we run, do we hold off, do we go for it? And everybody agreed, you know what, it's going to be picking up, the tide's coming up, it's only going to get better from here on out. So we are live here at the IBA 2011 NMD Pride Stealth Fronton Pro, brought to you by Grand Flavor. Again, Manny V and Greg Taylor. This is round number 4 of the main event. And let me tell you something. Some of these matchups are just absolutely crazy. Look at heat number 7. This is the most talked about heat amongst the pros himself. PLC, Pierre-Louis Costa and Elliot Morales, the local young gun who is absolutely on fire right now. So Elliot, PLC, heat number 7. If you're going to don't turn off that monitor, you got to stick around for that one. But that's only one of 8. All of them are all stacked. For example, coming up next, Ben Player, Dallas Singer. Woo. Both of these guys hold their own, and it's just a matter of wave selection because they are all on the same level of doing these big, massive moves, the air roll spin, the backflip, the big barrels, and big inverts. So we're going to see it all go down today, round number 4, out in the water. First heat, Jeff Hubbard, Jason Finlay.
Yeah, for sure, Manny. And look, this swell does get as big as we expect. I'm not sure, Manny, how many ARSs we're going to be seeing off those 8-foot inside sections.
You're right.
That's when the barrel riding comes into its own, and where people who can hold a rail, read a barrel, are really going to come to the fore. And you spoke about that heat of Pierre-Louis Costes versus Elliot Morales. Elliot Morales is considered the local hotshot here. He knows this break better than anyone, especially when it's big. So Pierre, who's been one of the most consistent performers over the last couple of months of the year, has his work cut out for him. But look at those sets as they start to wind in, man. He can
Oh, my.
really set. But some of the other heats we haven't even mentioned yet. You've got Ben Player and Dallas Singer next.
Yes.
Then you've got Amaury Laverne, the current world champion, takes on Sergio Alonso,
Wow.
the young super grom from Venezuela. Look at Heat 4, man. This one I'm personally very excited about. Dave Winchester takes on Andrew Lester.
Oh, man, that's going to be another stacked heat. Andrew Lester has been on fire everybody wonders, okay, this new guy coming into the seated area, can they hold their own? Andrew Lester was just owning the barrels here at Fronton during his heats, and everybody was stoked to see him make it through. Now he has to face off with Dave Winchester. Ryan Hardy, Mitch Rollins, heat number 5. Good Lord, what is going on?
Oh, people, if you do anything, if you have to go and have something to eat, have a little sleep, but do not miss that one. Heat 5, Ryan Hardy versus Mitch Rollins. It's going to be a hard one because the Aussies will be split, but I think a lot of the Aussies will be trying to ride Ryan home so he can stay in contention for that world title. But Mitch Rollins, he's one of the most competitive people I've ever met, and he's not going to let that one go easily. And so he came here with huge expectations. Recently just won the peer poll as the number 1 ranked rider amongst the riders. He wants to prove that on the global audience here. So that's going to happen. And then, but don't forget Heat 6. We spoke about Yuri Balladao takes on Diego Cabrera. That is critical because Diego Cabrera must progress all the way to the semi-finals of his competition to stay in the top 16 for next year's World Tour.
Oh, that's heart-wrenching.
The man who was sitting there in the stands watching is that man, Michael Novy. He can't do anything now. He's just got to sit there, cross his fingers, his toes, and anything else to ensure that Diego Cabrera does not make the semis. Because if that happens, Michael Novy will be back on the global qualifying series. There's Novy there.
I don't know.
Already fidgeting.
I don't know which side of the fence I'd want to sit. Do I sit where Novy's at and wait to see if somebody else, succumbs to, losing a heat? Or do you go out there and give it everything you got? Look at the live action. Jason Finlay pulling in under the lip. Is he going to pull out? Nice stall into the barrel. And here he is coming out of the foam ball. Great tube riding techniques right there from, yes, Jason Finlay in yellow. So barrel riding is going to be one of those key maneuvers as the waves continue to progress. So here's a quick start on what we are to expect from Jason Finlay.
Okay, remember, Jason Finlay needs a 4.76 to jump back into first place ahead of Jeff Hubbard. Be interesting to see how the judges score this one, because as I said, there was the first barrel we've seen of today. They've got to be a little bit careful because we're expecting some big barrels for the rest of the day. But let's talk me through this one, Manny.
Well, he comes around the section and hits the brakes right there. He actually pulls his body behind the board to slow down. Back to the live action, Jeff Hubbard.
Jeff Hubbard returns fire. He'll get up to that lip and bang, big ARS. Seamus Mackham, hats off to you. Great coverage. But, hats off to you. Hub returns fire. Still waiting for the scores to drop, Manny. Jason Finlay's score has not dropped yet. Will he get a 4.76? But on the other side, Hub's just busted another ARS. He only needs to better a 4.5. So, but look at these sets rolling in now, Manny. I think Jason will just get under these, but that one pushes a little bit wide. But as the day progresses, those sets are going to get bigger and wrap into the reef, and we're going to see some all-time action. Here comes another set. These boys just want to get out there. But I think the judges are making up their mind, and one thing for sure is that momentarily it looks like Jason Finlay will get back into the lead. But we're still waiting for Jeff Hubbard's wave.
Look at this view.
Still 16 minutes to go. Sorry, Manny.
No, look at this view. It's absolutely amazing. You can see just the shelf reef, just water pouring off of the edges. The reef actually extends out to where the water is breaking, where the waves are breaking, and it'll remain shallow even through high tide.
Okay, let's go. Jason Finlay's dropped a 6.4 for that wave. Amazing. He's now in the lead, 11.9 combined score. But Jeff Hubbard, his second score's dropped. He needed a 6.16. Unfortunately, only a 5.6 for Hub. So 15 minutes remaining, 15 and a half minutes remaining. Jeff Hubbard requires a 6.16 to keep control of the world title destiny. So let's have a look. But 15 minutes to go. I said I really believe there's a lot more to be written in this heat. But at the moment, all the pressure's on Hub. Not only does Jason Finlay have priority out in the lineup, Jeff Hubbard also needs a 6.16 to jump back into the lead. We know anything's possible with Hub. We saw what he did at Pipeline, Manny, the first contest of the year. But, I'm sure Hub, it's not how he wrote the script in his head last night. He would have wanted to lead from the front, get control, start strong. He started strong, But the judges liked that barrel riding by Jason Finlay, rewarded it with the highest score of the heat, the 6.4. But, 15 minutes to go, Manny, so hold your breath, people.
Well, Jeff Hubbard is out there right now, and actually we do have a beach commentator here up on the cliff, and they are broadcasting their voice out over the waves, and so the riders can hear what the judges are scoring for each ride. And I'm sure Jeff Hubbard heard that Jason Finlay's barrel ride of a 6.4 was something that he should consider on his next wave. Deep barrel ride is going to be scoring pretty good today.
It looks that way, and again, I'm just so excited about some of the barrels I'm expecting to see this afternoon. And, I wouldn't be surprised if we see multiple 10-point rides go down. That's why the judges were probably held back on Finlay's score there, because, yes, it was a nice barrel, and, the first barrel we've seen of the competition today, but you've got to be careful with the scaling, because you're dropping 10s on that, it just gives you less room to go up. But the important thing we spoke about, Manny, all the way from day one, we saw the footage of Craig Haddon. We saw Craig Haddon speaking to the riders, talking about what the judges are looking for in this competition. And one of the key things he spoke about was the variety of moves. They want to see barrel riding, they want to see ARSs and backflips, but they want to mix it up. But let's have a look at that next heat in the water, Manny.
Coming up next, you're going to see this guy right here, Ben Player versus Dallas Singer. Both of these guys have been on fire, and it's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to lay out on the platter to be that first and only person to advance on out of their heat. So Dallas Singer, Ben Player, they're not looking at each other. Look at that.
Yeah, and look, again, you might think fellow countrymen, they might be friends, and I'm sure they have a beer out of the competition zone. They travel together often, but they've both got massive aspirations. There's Dal, he's nice and relaxed. His brother's over here with him. He's going, I'm not sure about this, feeling a bit nervous. But look, Dallas, couple of amazing, massive inverts in his round 3 to keep his dream alive. He secured a top 16 for next year, so it's all just, he's got no pressure. He's just got to go out there. But keep in mind, the winner of this heat we see here will face the winner of that next heat, which is Ben Player versus Dallas Singer. So one of those guys may actually face Jeff Hubbard if he can get through here. So,
we're going to have to wait and see. And you know what? We got a little bit of time. We'll be back right after this. Back to the live action here at here we go. Jason Finlay around the section, straight off the bottom, punches through the lip. Nice roll right there, lands out in front of the wave. And that is Jason Finlay's third wave, as a nice cylindrical roll has been completed by this man, the Australian in yellow.
So has he lost a fin there, Manny?
You know what? There's so much power. There's so much water moving out there that all these guys have reinforced their fin tethers, because no matter who you are out there, there's so much water coming off of that lip, landing, and it's going to take off any fin. Up and riding, Jeff Hubbard.
Jeff and Hubbard needs a 6.16. That's not going to do it. He smartly says, I'm going to hold on to priority. I'm going to kick out of this one and get back out there with still, 14 minutes remaining in this heat, man. He's got time, so it might be closer to 10 minutes, sorry, but the current heat leader is Jason Finlay. He's had a 5.5 and a 6.4. Let's see if we can have a look at the replays of those scores and see how he got to this lead position, Manny.
Well, Jason Finlay right now is on the charge to be able to take out Jeff Hubbard, which will leave the door open for PLC and Ryan Hardy. Can he do it? Jason Finlay's wave right there, absolutely perfect wave, and that is coming down as a smaller score. Now, here's another look of his barrel, his 6.4 barrel.
Yeah, look, he stalls nicely, gets right under that lip and rides out of it nice and high, as we've spoken about all contests. You need to at this wave. The judges liked that. It was a 6.4 from the judge. He does a little spin here just to complete the move. The judges like to see that as well. It might just be an extra half a point, but at the end of the day, that could be the difference. So we have 10.5 minutes remaining.
How crucial is this heat for Jeff Hubbard?
Not only Jeff Hubbard, Manny.
No, this is actually a huge heat out in the water right now. Give us one more time after this replay from Jason Finlay through the lip barrel. That was, I believe, his one of his waves.
Third wave, yeah, that was the third wave. We only scored a 4.85, so that one didn't trouble the scorers. So, as I said, so at the moment, there's Ben Play heading down for the next one. He'd be, he's a bit windy there, Ben, he's saying, but stay positive, Ben. You've got to get out there and surf, mate.
You get blown off that cliff. Be careful,
dude. Scenario again, Jason Finlay, he lost his fin. Luckily, it looked like he did have his fin tethers on, and he was able to keep it on. But we saw Dallas Singer early on in the competition lose his fins and lose 15 minutes of his heat just retrieving a replacement pair. So
I was wondering why Jason Finlay, in fact, was going to give Dallas Singer a fin, but I guess IBA rule says you cannot. The rider has to come to the shore and grab his spare equipment. If he would have thrown that out there, I think there would have been some type of penalty involved. So great thinking from Jason Finlay and Dallas Singer. Here we are, up and riding. Jeff Hubbard, nice speed, comes around the section, nice bottom turn. ARS out through the lip. Good move right there. He's going to claim that one. Jeff Hubbard is looking for a 6.16. Was that high enough?
Oh, Manny, I think it was. I really do. Let's wait and see what the judges have to say. But Jeff Hubbard, he got there. They love seeing big moves in critical sections of the wave. That's exactly what Jeff Hubbard delivered then. Let's talk me through the replay. Bottom hand turn, nice building section. This time Hub gets up to the lip, nice and clean, gets under it, and big ARS whips it round. Oh, 6.16 he needs.
Whoa, look how much power, how that landing was. He actually
nice little
skipped.
claim and says, come on.
Yeah.
Is it a 6.16? We've still got 8.5 minutes remaining in this heat, so there's still more time. But the judges will be having their discussions. They've got the replay functioning there today as well, so the judges will be looking at the replay, comparing that to the other waves in the heat. But Jeff Hubbard needs 6.16 for that ride to leap back into the lead. Those scores you see there are prior to the judges locking in that score, so ignore that they are not up to date yet. But as you can see there, it says Jeff Hubbard needs a 6.16 to be into first. The judges are deliberating. We all hold our breath and wait, and obviously that time's not correct either. There is 8 minutes remaining in this heat. So there you go, 8 minutes, well cued.
All right, there.
You know what? Enough, Benny.
Jeff Hubbard has a lot at stake right now, and so do two other riders. We do have a world title race right now going down between Jeff Hubbard, PLC, and Ryan Hardy. Jeff Hubbard currently out in the water. Jeff Hubbard cannot, he needs to get out of this heat to still have a shot at the world title. If he falls out of this heat, give us the scenarios.
Well, Manny, so just to confirm, a 5.8 for that last wave of Jeff Hubbard, so he needed a 6.11. That replaced his previous second scoring wave, so now needs a 6.11 in the remaining 7.5 minutes of this heat. So let's see. But the scenarios, Manny, well, I don't even really want to talk about if Hub doesn't get through this. I want to let the team go through, because they said, to me, Hub is one of the most deserving people for a world title, and I just want to give him the whole 7 minutes of this remaining heat to get that 6.11. Then we can talk about the scenarios. But let's, for the sake of Jeff Hubbard and the consistent performance and his massive following of fans around the world and especially in Hawaii, let's just hold on and see if Jeff Hubbard can get that 6.11. I'm sure he's capable of it, man. It's just will Mother Nature deliver it.
Well, there is about 6 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in this heat. You see a 0-0 up there. That is incorrect. We will get that sorted, but it is a 6 minutes and 35 seconds remaining. I believe that is plenty of time for Jeff Hubbard to come back and look for that 6.11. But then again, Jason Finlay, he can catch another solid wave and even make that stretch even further. So we're going to have to wait and see. Right now, I believe priority is in the hands of Jason Finlay in yellow.
Very important, Manny. So he's got 6 minutes, 10 seconds remaining, but Jason Finlay holds down priority. So what that basically means is he has the pick of the next best wave. Looks like they're paddling out there. Jace has seen something. Forget priority. He's onto this one, Manny. What's he going to do?
All right, he's turning around, bottom turning, nice clean line, straight off the bottom, through the lip, another roll, clean, lands out in front of the whitewash, and that was a one maneuver away from Jason Finlay. Again, the timing is just a little off. Jeff Hubbard up and riding.
Up and riding. Oh, he's going to hold on to priority and kick out of that. So Jace Finlay's looking to better a 5.5 for that last roll. Not sure whether that'll be enough, but let's wait and see what the judges say. Jeff Hubbard looked at that wave knowing he needed a 6.11. You can see Jace Finlay's still way inside trying to paddle out. So Hub's out there with priority, with 5 minutes remaining, needing to nail a 6.11. It may need more than 6.11 if Jason Finlay better his score from the last wave, which he did, Manny. It was a 5.6 for that last roll of Jason Finlay. Slightly changes the scenario for Jeff Hubbard. 5 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. Jeff Hubbard needs 6.21. So let's see what unfolds here, but amazing stuff. I keep saying I won't talk about the situation, but there's Hardy there.
Wow.
If Hub does not get through this heat, look at Hardy. He's gone, come on, where's that clock?
If I was Hardy and Jason Finlay takes out Jeff Hubbard out of the world title race, I would buy Jason Finlay whatever he would like.
Yeah, mate, I'm sure there'll be at least a couple of beers on offer. And but look, there's still 4.5 minutes to go, plenty of time. But look, Hardy, he's getting anxious. For Hardy, the scenario for Hardy is, if Jeff Hubbard does not get through this heat, so he exits the competition in round 4, Hardy still needs to surf all the way through to the final. So he won't be cheering yet, but it keeps the dream alive.
Yes.
As for PLC, but look there, 4 minutes 15 remaining. Hubby's out there with priority needing a 6.21, and look at these sets rolling in, Manny.
Still, the sun is out. We are looking at 3 to 5 foot El Fronton here on the beautiful island of Gran Canaria in the town of Galdar, also known as the Royal City. Galdar, absolutely a beautiful place and home of, within this 5-minute stretch of coastline, there are 4 world-class waves. The best for bodyboarding, a lot of them love this wave right here, El Fronton. Currently out in the water, round number 4, heat number 1. Jeff Hubbard in the red jersey, Jason Finlay in the yellow jersey. Looks like there's a little paddling going on out the back. What does Jeff Hubbard see?
Remember,
Jeff
he's
Hubbard.
got priority, Manny, so he can take whatever he wants. He doesn't want that one. Still 3 minutes, 30 seconds. 3.5 minutes remaining.
No.
Jeff Hubbard with priority needs a 6.21 to control the destiny of the world title. So we spoke about the scenario. Ryan Hardy still needs to win the final to jump over Jeff Hubbard if Jeff Hubbard was to exit here. 3 minutes, 10 seconds. That time is correct. On the other side of the equation, the other contender, Pierre-Louis Costes, who'd be sitting there also riding this heat home very hard, counting down the last 3 minutes. He only needs to make the semi-final, but Pierre needs to surf through round 4 and through the quarter-final to win the world title if Jeff Hubbard was to exit here today. 2 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. Look at Hardy. He's going, is this clock?
Look at him. He's nervous. He's one of the most nervous riders out on the competitors' areas platform over there, and you can see him checking his watch and just nerves.
Oh, nerves. And I said 2.5 minutes to go. But the other scenario that really gets the mind racing, Manny, if Hub does exit in this round 4 heat, and Hardy and PLC progress through their round 4 and quarters, guess who meets in this semi-final?
Unbelievable. Hardy versus PLC semi-final. Is it possible? Will it go down? I don't know, man. You guys do not go away. There's going to be a ton of action today and on the next day here at the IBA 2011 NMD Pride Stealth Fronton Pro, brought to you by Grand Flavor. It has been an amazing tour, and we're winding down to an amazing ending here at El Fronton. Unbelievable.
Look at Hardy. He's over there looking at PLC. That's PLC over his shoulder there on the left. Hardy's going, come on, come on. What's this? How long to go? 1 minute 40 remaining.
Wow.
But it said potentially Hub up and right. He needs a 6.21, Manny.
All right, here he is, Hub. Can he get that 6.21? Comes around the section. Air roll spin. Not a super clean wave right there. Not a clean move, but you know what? He's still going to call it a claim and get it back out there. Now, 1 minute, 27 seconds remaining. Manny, a 6.21 wave. I'm not sure. Could this be the end of Hub's rally in this event? Still has hopes to be a world title contender in the long run. So everybody just waiting
Hold
patiently.
your breath, people. 1 minute, 5 seconds remaining.
No.
I'm not sure if Hub, because he rode that wave in, has time to get out and catch another wave. He's frantically paddling out, but he needs a 6.21 on that last wave. He got it! 6.6! Jeff Hubbard has jumped back into first place and keeps the world title race in his control. 48 seconds to go, Manny. Jason Finlay has priority. He can still upset the dream. He needs a 6.01. Oh, my Lord. 6.6, Jeff Hubbard.
Can the Australian Jason Finlay in the last few seconds of this heat do to Hubbard what Hubbard did to Thomas Rigby in the final. We will see Jason Finlay winding down, 30 seconds remaining, and we are under a lot of pressure
I think
here.
he was on that wave, Manny. Jason Finlay was on that wave. He did not make it out of the barrel. There is no way he will be scoring more than a 6.01 for that. He's frantically trying to catch something. He needs a 6.01 on this wave. Oh, my Lord! Oh,
wow!
Manny Vargas.
Could that have happened? Could that have happened?
6.01.
Will he be scored? Will he be scored a 6.01 for that nice, clean air reverse 360 off the top on his last wave in the last few seconds of this heat? Judges are putting their numbers into the iPads. We will see what would have happened. Did Jeff Hubbard just get knocked out?
Again, Manny.
Did Jason Finlay do the job? Look at this. Super clean air reverse 360 off the top, lands perfectly on the wave, down onto the face of the wave. Jason Finlay, a beautiful executed wave right there for Jason Finlay. Does a roll at the very end in the whitewash, but it was that air reverse 360 Jason Finlay did in the last moments. Scores are coming in.
We are waiting for
Jason Finlay. Oh my Lord!
Jeff Hubbard,
what just happened? I can't believe it. Jason Finlay, the Australian, has just knocked out world title contender Jeff Hubbard from the event. Ladies and gentlemen, it has happened in the first heat of the day. Now things have to fall into place for either PLC or Ryan Hardy to have a world title. Again, Greg, give us a scenario now that Jeff Hubbard is out of the event.
Wow, Manny, I'm still getting my thoughts after just Jason Finlay got a 6.3 for that last wave on the buzzer. It was an inside, smaller wave, but as you saw, the big reverse head, cleanly executed, and that was it. The buzzer has gone, it is over. Jeff Hubbard has exited the competition in round 4 of this. The scenario is now, PLC and Ryan Hardy have destiny in their hands. Jeff Hubbard, leading so gallantly all year, now does not control the situation.
Unbelievable.
The first heat will go in heat 5, Manny. Ryan Hardy will face Mitch Rawlins. Ryan Hardy has to surf all the way to the final to stay alive, to keep his chances alive.